Okay, let's get into answering this Amazon advertising question. Hey, why am I qualified to answer the question? My name is Elizabeth Green. I run an Amazon ad agency. We help focus on brands doing between $1 and $5 million a year, aggressively hit their growth goals using our 3-step top-down goal focus ad strategy development process. And so, as you can imagine, we're all about developing ad strategy. And this is a great question around this. And I hear this a lot. And this is actually going to require some quick math. So I'm super excited to get into it. All right. So the question was on bid maintenance overview. And it was actually vibing off a particular post that had some recommendations on some bid management. And this is honestly why your bid management is insanely important to your ad strategy and how your advertising performance is going. But then 2, why you have to get super custom depending on the product. So I love the context in this question. It's going to help us kind of get a lot of answers and get some really good, maybe some more advanced level strategies here. So the question was, thank you for the bid management overview. I like your aspect when you connect the highest number of now clicks to conversion rate. For example, say allowing 10 to 12 clicks on a product with a conversion rate of 10% before doing any changes. I agree very much with this approach. However, and this is where, again, getting super custom and in the weeds is important. One question regarding this concept on a $20 product with a conversion rate of 10% with a cost per click of $3.50 on an exact match single keyword campaign, highly relevant keyword. We can't afford to wait for 10 clicks as we would be doing a big loss. It is a consumable product, but not like supplements, which are bought monthly. This product could be bought quarterly. If we reduce the bids or top of search placement percentages, we don't get any impressions and clicks. We want to be at top of search to get eyeballs. If we lower on the page or rest of search, impressions and clicks fall drastically as the keyword has a search volume of around 500, so it's a relatively small niche. What do you suggest in such a case? This is a phenomenal question. Again, chock full of so much context, which is going to allow me to give a very specific answer. And there's actually something that I would probably recommend here. So again, let's do some quick math. Okay. I'm going to pull up my calculator and let's bring this over here and let's start doing some quick mathematics. A good way to calculate your expected number of clicks per your conversion rate is you can actually take 1 and you can divide it by your conversion rate represented in a decimal point. So in this point, it's going to be 0.110. So we can expect 10 clicks on this particular keyword if we have an average conversion rate of 10%. Now, take into account this cost per click of $3.50. So if we took $3.50, so 3.5, and we multiply that by 10, what we're going to get is $35. So even if you are at your average conversion rate and you have all things remaining equal, right? You're saying like, I can't afford to do 10 clicks on this particular keyword at $1.50 because if we have expected ad spend of 35 and we're going to divide this by 20, which is actually our sale price, you can see how you're going to have 175% ACoS. This is the ACoS represented in a decimal point. And so in this case, even if everything worked well, we're still going to be unprofitable. So say even if we wanted to get this ACoS down to say 100%, what kind of conversion rate do we have to be able to do that? So I would say we can afford to do, let's say we had $20 is our price point. And I wanted to say, okay, maybe I'm fine with 50% conversion rate, which is 50% ACoS, which is going to be 20 multiplied by 0.5 because 0.5 is a decimal representation. So I can afford to spend $10. If I have a conversion rate of 10%, which we already said and calculated is going to give us a average number of clicks of 10. I mean, 10 divided by 10, we could do the math on our head, but for representative purposes, let's just do it on the calculator. That means I can afford to spend a 10% conversion rate and a target of 50% ACoS. And I'm just spitballing here. Like if we went up a little bit, like say we did 20 multiplied by 0.75, like maybe we can afford that. And that's going to give us $15. And then we can divide that by 10. We can say, okay, we can afford to spend $1.50. That's how I would figure out what kind of cost per click do I need at that average conversion rate to be able to make the ACoS numbers work. Now, it sounds like that has already that sort of testing has already taken place. So my question, without the additional context of, hey, we've already tried to lower the bids and what we're seeing is that we're not getting the sales acceleration that we needed. Because I would have done that mathematics and I would have said, okay, let's see if we can get from, what happens when we do like $3.50 and we get like conversion or the cost per clicks of $1.50. What does that shake out? That is not working here. So maybe another question would be, what kind of conversion rate do I have to have at $3.50 to be able to make this work? And so what you could do to calculate that is I would say, okay, let's say 20, let's just give ourselves some wiggle room and let's say we're going to bring it down to 75. So again, we're going to say, okay, we have $15 to spend. But what we'll do now is we'll divide that $15 by 3.5, which is $3.50. And this gives us 4.28 clicks. So we can afford to get 4.28 clicks to be able to make that thing work. Okay. So then my question is, at $3.50, what kind of conversion rate do I need to have to be able to make those things work, right? And so what you would do for that is you would say it's $20 and I would multiply that by 70. Again, I'm assuming a 75% ACoS target here. Again, I know that's super high and that might not be sustainable. So that would be something to look at. So then I would say, okay, if I can afford to spend $15 at that, then let me take that and let's divide it by 3.5, which is my amount each time of my cost per clicks. And then I can see how many clicks can I afford. So I can afford 4.2 clicks. So then my question would be, if we can afford 4.28 clicks, what does that look like in terms of our conversion rate? That means we have to have a 23.3% conversion rate to be able to make those mathematics work. So you're kind of left at an impasse here. Again, why I'm going through these mathematics is just to kind of illustrate why a lot of times when we're coming up against things like this, people are saying like, how do I make this thing work? Sometimes when you do the mathematics, it's difficult to make it work. So you have a couple options here. One of them would have been lowering the bid to that kind of $1.50 that we pulled out, which we've kind of determined like that's not really going to work. And then, so then our other question is, at $3.50 cost per click, can we essentially more than double the conversion rates here to make that work? Again, how possible is that? I don't know. I mean, maybe you can optimize for this particular keyword. Maybe you can see if there's something you could do with the main image that would cause better conversion rates. Can you speak to this individual keyword? And then the other thing I would ask is, how important is this keyword? So it says that it has a keyword search volume of around 500, which is a smaller niche. So is this keyword, again, like super important to your strategy? The other thing that you can do in these instances, honestly, what you're looking to do here is, how can I lower the ad spend on this one particular keyword and still maintain the volume that I need to? So there's two ways that you can lower ad spend, actually. One of them is through bid optimizations, again, lowering the cost per click, which we've already established. But the other thing that you can do potentially is limit the budget on that particular keyword. So you'll want to make sure that you have this in a campaign that allows you to put a very specific budget. But the other thing is, if we had, again, a more limited budget on this particular keyword, you want to look at it as pieces of a whole. So it is entirely possible for you to spend some money on certain campaigns at a much higher ACoS and have your overall blended ACoS work out to be profitable. Again, how possible this is going to be determined by kind of what does the rest of the structure look like in the account, and can you maintain this top of search placement at these high bids? Can you be able to allocate the ad spend needed to get the amount of orders needed to really be able to move the needle? So I'm going to assume if it's like, say, around a search volume of 500, maybe we only need 2 orders a day. So in that case, what I would say is at 0.35 bid, and then we said we need about 10 clicks to make a conversion, that's 35, and then we multiply that by 2 because we want 2 conversions, and that's $70. Can I afford to spend $70 on this particular keyword? And what does my ad spend look like on the rest of my ads? And can this $70 be a little bit less profitable and then still maintain profitability over the overall account? And then you might also just say, okay, so we need $35, and then maybe we'll just restrict it to that, which is about, say, like 1 order on average. I would probably pad this a little bit because you're going to have certain days where your conversion rate's a little over 10%, a little under 10%. And I don't think I'd want to cut it off strictly at that 10% conversion rate, but I would kind of look at it like that. So in this case, my recommendation would be trying to control the ad spend through the budget, not necessarily trying to control the ad spend through the keyword. If you have a question like this, I may randomly answer it in a video if I come across it online, but there is a specific place on our website where you can submit your Amazon advertising questions. It's up at the top in the menu bar. It says ask your experts. You'll be taken to a form. You can submit your own question, and I will be doing my best to create custom videos similar to this one to help you understand the inner workings of Amazon advertising and how you can sort of play the game smarter.